Hi, I'm Blakely. After 30 years as a school principal, I thought retirement would be peaceful. My late husband left me this beautiful colonial house with all our family treasures, antique clocks, my grandmother's silver, and a collection of vintage jewelry that tells our family's story better than any photo album. The doorbell rang, interrupting my morning coffee ritual. My son Marcus stood there with a woman I'd never met. "Mom, I want you to meet Zoe. We got married last month." I nearly dropped my mug. "Married? But I didn't even know you were dating anyone." Zoe flashed a bright smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "It was spontaneous. We met in Vegas and just knew." Throughout lunch, I caught Zoe eyeing my crystal decanter set, running her fingers along the edge of my antique sideboard. "That's a beautiful brooch," she said, pointing to my mother's cameo pinned to my sweater. "Is it valuable?" "Sentimentally, yes. It was my mother's." Later, after they left, something felt off. I couldn't place it until I went to put my mother's brooch back in its velvet box. My silver letter opener was missing from my desk. When Marcus and Zoe visited again the following week, I kept a closer eye on her. "Your home has such character, Blakely. Do you live here all alone?" Zoe asked, wandering into rooms without invitation. "Yes, since Marcus's father passed." "Isn't it a lot of house for one person? Don't you get scared?" I called my best friend Eleanor the next day. "I swear things are disappearing, Elle. First my letter opener, now my grandmother's thimble collection." "Maybe you misplaced them? You've been forgetful lately. Not about family heirlooms." When Marcus and Zoe came for dinner that Friday, I deliberately mentioned my safety deposit box at the bank. "That's where I keep the really valuable stuff," I said, watching Zoe's expression shift. Sunday morning, I found my home office drawer slightly open. My financial folders had been rifled through. Retirement accounts, insurance policies, property deed. Nothing was missing, but someone had definitely been looking. "Marcus would never," I told Eleanor over coffee. "But that woman, there's something not right about her." "What are you going to do?" "Keep track of what goes missing. Set up some kind of trap." That night, I decided to check all my hiding spots. The jewelry box under my bed was intact. The cash envelope in my recipe book hadn't been touched. Then I went to the kitchen drawer where I kept my spare key. Empty. My heart raced as I dumped out the entire drawer. The key was definitely gone. Someone had taken my spare house key, and I had a sinking feeling I knew exactly who it was. "Game on, Zoe," I whispered to my empty kitchen. "You picked the wrong retired principal to mess with." I didn't waste any time. The next morning, Eleanor arrived with a shopping bag that clinked when she set it down. "You really think she's stealing from you?" "I know she is. And now she has my house key." Eleanor pulled out 3 tiny cameras. "My son uses these for his Airbnb. They connect to your phone." We spent the afternoon hiding them, one in the living room bookshelf, one overlooking my office desk, and one in the hallway facing my bedroom. "You sure this isn't overkill?" Eleanor asked, adjusting the bookshelf camera. "Trust me, I've caught enough teenagers lying in my day to know when something's fishy." 2 days later, at my Tuesday book club, my phone buzzed with a motion alert. I excused myself to the bathroom and watched in real time as Zoe let herself into my house. My blood boiled as she headed straight for my office. "Everything okay?" Eleanor whispered when I returned to the group. "She's in my house right now." After book club, I drove home to find everything seemingly untouched. But the footage didn't lie. I waited until Marcus came by alone on Thursday to fix my garbage disposal. "Someone's been going through my financial documents, and things keep disappearing." Marcus stopped working and looked up at me. "What things?" "My silver letter opener, Grandma's thimble collection, and now my spare key is gone." His expression shifted. "Mom, are you sure? You've been under a lot of stress since Dad died." "Don't gaslight me, Marcus. I have it on video. Zoe was here Tuesday during book club." His face flushed. "That's ridiculous. Why would she do that?" "You tell me. She's certainly interested in what I own." That evening, my phone rang. It was Zoe. Blakely, Marcus told me about your accusations. I'm worried about you. Save it. I have you on camera. Camera? Oh, Blakely, Marcus and I were talking. And these memory issues, forgetting where you put things, imagining cameras, these are concerning signs. The next day, Marcus showed up with a pamphlet about dementia. Mom, we need to talk about getting you checked out. I don't have dementia, Marcus. Your wife is stealing from me. Zoe would never. She's worried sick about you. Actually, we both think this house might be too much for you now. Sell my house? Are you kidding me? It would give you a nice nest egg. There are some great assisted living communities. Get out. After he left, I checked my laptop. The camera in my office had captured Zoe scrolling through my retirement statements. But what made my stomach drop was seeing her plug something into my computer. I checked my browser history and found searches I never made. How to access retirement accounts without password, selling house with power of attorney, and signs of dementia in elderly. I called Eleanor immediately. She's trying to convince Marcus I'm losing my mind so they can take everything. We need professional help, Blakely. I know exactly who to call. Remember Sandra Rivera? She was that troubled kid I mentored who became a cop. Well, she's a detective now. You think this is a police matter? Breaking and entering, identity theft, elder abuse? You bet it is. And I'm going to make sure Zoe regrets the day she decided to mess with this old lady. Detective Sandra Rivera met me at a coffee shop downtown, away from prying eyes. She'd grown from that rebellious teen into a confident woman with sharp eyes and a no-nonsense attitude. Miss Johnson, you haven't changed a bit. Oh, please, I'm older and grayer. But unfortunately, I'm dealing with a situation that requires your expertise. I showed her the video footage on my phone. Sandra's expression darkened as she watched Zoe rifling through my documents. This is serious, Blakely. It's a classic elder abuse setup. Isolate, convince family you're incompetent, then take control of finances. Can we catch her in the act? Let's set a trap she can't resist. What's the most valuable thing in your house? My jewelry isn't worth much monetarily, but Zoe doesn't know that. Perfect. We'll create a story about hidden valuables, something too tempting to ignore. Back home, I called Eleanor to go over the details. So I'm supposed to invite you on a girls' weekend getaway? Yes, and make it loud and clear we'll be gone Friday through Sunday. I'll take care of dropping hints about the bait. What's the bait? A fake jewelry collection and emergency cash that supposedly belonged to my mother-in-law, worth a fortune but too sentimental to sell. Marcus came by Thursday to check on me after our argument. Perfect timing. I'm feeling much better. Actually, Eleanor and I are going to a spa retreat this weekend. That's great, Mom. I've been worried. I led him to the kitchen for coffee, purposely leaving my desk drawer partially open with a photo of an ornate jewelry set visible. What's that? Marcus asked, predictably curious. Oh, nothing. Just organizing some paperwork about your grandmother's things. I didn't know Grandma had fancy jewelry. Your father never told you? There's quite a collection, plus emergency cash. I keep it in the safe behind the painting in my bedroom. Insurance doesn't even know about half of it. His eyes widened slightly. How much are we talking about? Let's just say enough to cover several years in that fancy assisted living you mentioned. Friday morning, Sandra and 2 officers arrived with professional surveillance equipment. We'll set up in the guest room. The cameras you already have are great, but we need audio too. Will you arrest her immediately? Let's see if she brings anyone else. These operations rarely work alone. Eleanor arrived with overnight bags for show, loudly discussing our weekend plans as we loaded the car. We drove around the block and returned through the back gate. By evening, we were all positioned in the guest room, watching the monitors. Around 11 p.m., headlights flashed in the driveway. Right on schedule, Sandra whispered. The front door opened quietly. Zoe entered first, followed by a tall man I'd never seen before. That's not Marcus, I whispered. Who is he? Eleanor asked. Sandra zoomed in on his face. We'll run it through the database. Might be her real partner. There it is, came Zoe's voice through the speakers. Behind that painting. Tyler, help me move this. Sandra touched her radio. All units stand by. Let them open the safe first. My heart pounded as I watched them find the painting, revealing the safe I'd installed years ago for our passports. Once they try to crack it, we've got them for attempted burglary, Sandra said. And I have a feeling your daughter-in-law is about to get a very unpleasant surprise. Zoe and her accomplice worked on my safe while we watched from the monitors. His fingers moved expertly across the dial. You sure she's gone all weekend? The man asked. Positive, Tyler. The old lady won't be back until Sunday night. Plenty of time to clean this place out. The safe clicked open, and Sandra gave the signal. Suddenly, lights flooded the room as officers rushed in from all sides. Police! Hands where I can see them! The look on Zoe's face was priceless. Shock, then panic as she realized what had happened. This is a mistake, she stammered as Sandra cuffed her. I'm family! This is my mother-in-law's house! I stepped into the room. Family doesn't steal from family, Zoe. Blakely? What's happening? I can explain. Save it for the judge. Tyler was already confessing as they led him out. She told me her mother-in-law had dementia and wouldn't remember us being here. The next morning, Marcus showed up at the police station, his face ashen. Sandra had called him after the arrests. Is it true? Zoe was stealing from you? I'm sorry, honey. She was planning to clean me out. His voice cracked. They say this isn't her first time, that her real name isn't even Zoe. Sandra joined us with a thick file. We've been looking for her for a while. She's hit 3 other families across 2 states. Always the same pattern. Marry into family, convince everyone the older relative is losing it, then drain their accounts. And Tyler? Her actual boyfriend. They work as a team. Marcus collapsed into a chair. I believed her over my own mother. I'm so sorry, Mom. You weren't the first to fall for her act, and you won't be the last. 2 weeks later, I sat in the courthouse hallway with Eleanor and Marcus, waiting for Zoe's arraignment. She'd been denied bail due to flight risk. The prosecutor says with the video evidence and her prior cases, she's looking at serious time, Sandra explained. Marcus had already filed for divorce and was in therapy, processing the betrayal. A court officer led Zoe in, and she immediately tried to catch Marcus's eye. Baby, please, this is all a misunderstanding. I was just trying to protect your mother's assets. Marcus turned away. Blakely, I never meant to hurt you. I got caught up in a bad situation with Tyler. He forced me to do this. I stared her down. The cameras caught you searching my financial records weeks before Tyler ever showed up. I've changed. Everyone deserves a second chance. Not from me. After the hearing, Eleanor, Marcus, and I went for lunch at our favorite diner. Marcus picked at his food. I keep wondering how I missed all the signs. She was good at what she did, I said, patting his hand. I should have trusted you. That's what happens when you meet someone in Vegas and marry them a week later. He actually laughed. Never again, I promise. Good. Next time, bring her to Sunday dinner first and let me run a background check. Eleanor raised her coffee mug. To Blakely, the most badass retired principal in town. And to second chances, Marcus added. For some people, I corrected. Not for con artists who target the elderly. Later that night, I looked around my quiet house, feeling at peace for the first time in months. The missing items had been recovered from Tyler's apartment, along with evidence of their other scams. I picked up my mother's cameo brooch and pinned it to my sweater. Some lessons are harder than others, but this retired principal still had a few more to teach. What would you do in Blakely's position? Would you ever consider forgiving someone like Zoe who deliberately tried to steal your home and money by convincing your own child you had dementia? Or do you believe some betrayals are simply unforgivable, no matter how sincere the apology seems? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story of justice being served, hit that like button and subscribe for more revenge stories where toxic people finally get what they deserve. New stories every day.